So fallen beings are trying to connect those times to our present time continuum, and you need parallel Earth to do so, and there is an important Stargate on Antarctica. They want to recreate the technological control grid that existed in Atlantis. Hello everyone, my name is Valeria, and in this channel we talk about spirituality and esoterics. So if you're interested in Antarctica, because it has been talked about for a long time in the spiritual communities and recently more in the mainstream news because of possible conflicts over there, there is information on the internet about books as well about Antarctica, and it is often related to Atlantis. Probably you have seen those. So I wanted to add and to share another perspective, and this is coming from the knowledge of Stargates as given by the Guardians, by the Guardian material, plus what I have seen in the records and through remote view. So I live kind of close to Antarctica, though I have never physically visited in this life, but I feel connected. So there are two important stargates on Antarctica, right? So in order to understand the implications of that, I have to explain parallel Earth first. So parallel Earth is another aspect of this Earth in which we live, which is anti-particle double. So you could see it like rotating in the opposite direction, right? That is why it is so important to make sure that our Merkaba is rotating in the way that is needed for this Earth, because the Earth in which we live is the particle Earth, so the parallel Earth is the anti-particle Earth. They need different Merkabas. So anyways, so the dimensional scale of parallel Earth begins one full dimensional frequency band above the Earth where we are right now. So here in the image you can see the alignments. For example, Stargate number 6 on parallel Earth is in the same position as Stargate number 7 in our Earth. So what we know about the Stargates is that there are two Stargates or chakras, energetic centers on Antarctica. Parallel Earth's Stargate number 11 is on Antarctica. Okay, and we have another Stargate which is Ark of the Covenant Stargate, which is number 9, and that is different, and I am not going to talk about that one in this video. But this tells us that Antarctica is connected to parallel Earth and is important, a strategic place. And there are different sets of Stargates. So there are, for example, only 12 Stargates on parallel Earth. That connect to parallel Earth, and one of them is in Antarctica. So this is important. And coming back to the image of parallel Earth, you can see that Stargate number 11 on Antarctica aligns exactly to our Stargate number 12. And Stargate number 12 for us is Eramatina on Lyra, right? And it's the Stargate that is the closest in a way to Source, or to, when you leave this system of 12 dimensions. And at the galactic level, that Stargate is the Sun, our Sun, because the Sun symbolizes completion of the solar system. If you like, for example, anthroposophy, think of the old sun. That will be the second planetary sphere in terms of development. And that is the equivalent of the second epoch of development, or the second race on Earth. Okay, and that is the Hyperborean race. Okay, so the first one is the Polarian, and the second one is the Hyperborean. And they had different, they experienced the Earth in a very different way from us. Okay, they had this sense of hearing and this sense of touch. Okay, and coming back to the Guardian material, imagine that this is like very, very old, like 250 million of years ago. It's like we have 12 tribes, like kind of seeded. I don't really like that word, but like seeded on parallel Earth. And then we have that 25,000 years ago. We have some like root races on the Earth, and they divided into two groups, right? And each of those two groups is like one of them held the DNA imprint for half of the first DNA strand, which corresponds to the first dimension. Okay, and these two groups were seated on the Earth on the seventh dimension, the Earth as Gaia. The Earth in this will be the third density, right? So this is like kind of an ascended Earth, like very ascended, a lot more than the fifth dimensional Earth. Okay, and these two races were like the first root races. So this is kind of similar to what is shared in anthroposophy, though it's not the same, but these beings, these two root races, according to the Guardian material, were the Polarians and the Hyperboreans. And the Polarians were on Gaia, on the Earth, like the particle Earth, ascended, while the Hyperboreans were on the anti-particle Earth, right? Again, like parallel Earth, but on higher dimensions. Okay, and again, these beings, it is said that were more like etheric beings, of course. So, this is why it just makes sense that on Antarctica you will find that parallel cultures have been there coming from interdimensional portals, and not that much as past cultures like Atlantis. The thing is that when you have that a parallel culture resided in a place, you will not find the physical evidence, because all that evidence is on parallel Earth. And as we are moving cycles and moving towards ascension, it's like some things start to appear in places where you were not able to see them before. So think like when a place or continent is covered in ice. We are perceiving that way because all that is there is on parallel Earth, right? And as we enter new cycles of evolution, we are going to be able to see what is there. And as humans, we will perceive that as if the ice were melting like that kind of idea. But truth is that civilization is always there on parallel Earth. So Antarctica is a civilization on itself on parallel Earth. She exists as a civilization with her own culture and is very interdimensional. Think about the stargates there. There are star beings using stargates to come and go, so that is why it is interdimensional. And Antarctica was part of the Earth, like way before Lemuria. But again, it was in a higher dimension, and then on parallel Earth. So the more like the materialized civilization is not perceptible for us now, but it will be. And that is why suddenly everyone wants a piece of it, And that is why suddenly everyone is seeing pyramids and things on the Antarctica. And when I see Antarctica in the Akashic records of clients, because I read the Akashic records, God always tell me about Antarctica for the clients that goes like before Lemuria. I always hear like before Lemuria, before humanity, and and souls that were anchoring certain frequencies on the Earth. Think of preparing the Earth's grids for something. And what I see is very etheric, Like there were different galactic beings, interdimensional beings, like different collectives, like from Sirius B, the Azurites, Arcturus as well. And it is important to notice that those stargates have allowed negative and positive interdimensional beings to again come and go. Right? Remember that stargates are made of a white and a black hole. Right? That is how beings come and go. Now, we want to talk about some of the darkness happening there. There are systems of grids on different parts of the world, of course, and Antarctica is not the exception. Like, the idea is to create, the idea of the, fallen beings is to create intertime manipulations. The goal is often to connect inorganically those stargates that are organically there to certain technologies that play with time. They wanna mess with time. Okay, so think of some sort of a wormhole bridge. The idea is to affect parallel Earth, because there are systems of grids on parallel Earth, and then it's like those pulses from parallel Earth are sent in different directions, and for example, one will be sent to the future and one to the past, and the one that goes to the past will go to the Atlantean period, and that is the connection to Atlantis. To the moments of destruction on Atlantis, basically. That is why some mystics will relate Antarctica to Atlantis. So it's like those fallen beings are trying to connect those times to our present time continuum. And you need parallel Earth to do so. And there is again this important Stargate on Antarctica. So they want to recreate the technological control grid that existed in Atlantis. And it's not like I am saying that this is going to happen. Just to be clear, when I make these videos, I am bringing these fears of humanity, what is in the subconscious, of the collective. I am bringing this to the conscious, okay, in order to alchemize this and to collapse those fallen collective timelines, because that is not organic from God, right? So if you liked this video, remember to subscribe to this channel if you wanna watch more videos like this, and I am sending you so much love.